The hammer of justice came down in federal court today on a woman who stole more than $100 million.
Janet Yamanaka Mello has been sentenced to serve 15 years in prison on 10 counts of mail fraud and falsifying tax returns.
Who choose to cheat our system, to cheat the federal government, to cheat the taxpayer, face the justifiable consequences of their actions.
Janet Yamanaka Mello, formerly a financial manager for the U.S. Army's Morale, Welfare, and Recreation (MWR) program, has been sentenced to 15 years in federal prison after being convicted of embezzling over $100 million. Her extensive fraudulent activities have brought considerable attention due to the enormous scale of the theft and its severe impact on public resources. Background: Janet Yamanaka Mello was employed as a financial manager at Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio, Texas, within the U.S. Army's Morale, Welfare, and Recreation (MWR) program. This program plays a vital role in enhancing the quality of life for military families by offering a diverse range of recreational, educational, and welfare services. It aims to support service members and their families by providing access to various resources and activities that promote their well-being and overall quality of life. In her role, Mello was entrusted with managing substantial financial resources allocated to the MWR program. Her responsibilities included overseeing these funds to ensure they were used effectively and efficiently in line with the program's objectives. The intention was to channel these resources into services and initiatives that would directly benefit military personnel and their families, such as community events, educational programs, and recreational facilities. However, Mello abused her position of trust by misappropriating the funds for her personal gain. Instead of directing the financial resources to the intended MWR programs, she diverted them for her own benefit. This misuse of funds led to a large-scale embezzlement scheme, where she siphoned off over $100 million. Her actions not only violated legal and ethical standards, but also significantly impacted the MWR program's ability to serve military families effectively. The case highlights the critical importance of stringent oversight and financial controls within programs that manage public and military funds. It underscores how financial misconduct can have far-reaching consequences, particularly in programs designed to support those who serve the nation. Mello's conviction and the scale of her embezzlement serve as a stark reminder of the need for rigorous checks and balances to prevent similar abuses of power in the future. Educational background. Mello's educational background, although not thoroughly detailed, likely includes formal qualifications in financial management or accounting. Her role in overseeing substantial financial responsibilities within the MWR program suggests a solid educational foundation in these areas. Typically, such qualifications would involve earning degrees in finance, accounting, or related fields, as well as obtaining certifications that bolster her expertise. This education would prepare her to handle complex financial tasks and make informed decisions crucial to managing financial operations effectively. Professional career. During her tenure at Fort Sam Houston, Mello held a pivotal role in managing the financial aspects of child and youth services under the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation (MWR) program. Her responsibilities involved meticulous management of program funds, ensuring proper allocation to support military families through various recreational and welfare activities. This role encompassed overseeing grant payments and managing large budgets, requiring a high level of financial expertise and integrity. However, over a 6-year period, Mello orchestrated a sophisticated embezzlement scheme that betrayed the trust placed in her. She fraudulently requested approximately $117 million in grant payments, diverting nearly $109 million for her personal use. Her position and access to financial systems facilitated the execution of this scheme with considerable skill and manipulation. Mello created a fictitious organization called Child Health and Youth Lifelong Development to apply for and receive the stolen funds, exploiting her intimate knowledge of the financial processes and oversight mechanisms. The stolen money enabled Mello to lead a lavish lifestyle marked by extravagant spending and indulgence. She acquired multiple high-end properties and built an extensive collection of 82 luxury vehicles. In a single day, she spent nearly $923,000 on jewelry, reflecting both her financial sophistication and her desire to flaunt her newfound wealth. Her opulent lifestyle showcased the extent of her embezzlement and underscored the significant breach of trust and responsibility involved in her actions. Criminal activities and scheme details. Mello's embezzlement scheme was marked by a high degree of sophistication and careful planning. Leveraging her deep understanding of the grant system and her role within the MWR program, she executed a complex fraud involving the creation of a fake organization named Child Health and Youth Lifelong Development. This fraudulent entity was used to apply for and receive grant funds that were meant to benefit military families. Over a span of 6 years, Mello submitted over 40 fraudulent grant applications, securing approximately $117 million in total. Out of this, nearly $109 million was diverted for her personal use. Her scheme was characterized by meticulous planning and exploitation of her access to financial systems, which allowed her to siphon off large sums of money without immediate detection. Mello's extravagant spending reflected the scale of her embezzlement. She invested in luxury real estate and high-end jewelry and amassed a collection of 82 vehicles, including a Maserati, a Mercedes, a 1954 Corvette, and a Ferrari Fratelli motorcycle. Despite the impressive nature of these assets, the vehicles were found in poor condition, with many having dead batteries, suggesting they had not been used for an extended period. This detail highlighted her excessive and idle spending, further underscoring the extent of her financial misconduct. Investigation and discovery. The investigation into Mello's criminal activities was spearheaded by the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, with significant contributions from other federal agencies. The probe was comprehensive, targeting various aspects of her financial dealings to uncover the full scope of her fraudulent scheme. Central to the investigation was the meticulous examination of Mello's financial records. Investigators delved into her tax returns, which revealed a pattern of falsification spanning from 2017 to 2022. Mello had systematically understated her income to hide the substantial illicit gains she had amassed. This deliberate falsification was a crucial tactic in her strategy to avoid detection and continue misappropriating the stolen funds. The investigation also scrutinized Mello's lavish spending habits. Federal agents examined her extensive acquisitions of luxury real estate, high-end vehicles, and valuable jewelry. Among the items investigated were a fleet of 82 vehicles, including notable luxury and vintage cars.
Properties all over the place, various states, beautiful retirement homes, as I would take them to be, on parcels of large acreage. They had a large vehicle collection, so a lot of the homes had multiple car garages.
These vehicles, many of which were found in poor condition with dead batteries, indicated that Mello's extravagant lifestyle was funded by embezzled funds and had been maintained despite the vehicle's lack of use. The examination of these expenditures provided further insight into the scale and nature of her financial misconduct. By tracing the flow of money from the fraudulent grants to Mello's purchases, investigators were able to establish a clear connection between her embezzlement scheme and her opulent lifestyle. This comprehensive analysis of her financial activities was pivotal in exposing the full extent of her fraudulent actions and highlighting the significant breach of trust involved in her scheme. Additionally, investigators conducted forensic analysis to detect discrepancies and patterns that indicated fraudulent behavior. This involved cross-referencing Mello's financial transactions with bank records, grant disbursements, and other financial documentation. The investigative team meticulously pieced together how Mello manipulated financial systems and documentation to facilitate her scheme, ensuring that the scope of her fraud was fully understood and documented. Overall, the investigation uncovered the intricate details of Mello's embezzlement, revealing her sophisticated methods of evading detection and the extensive financial misconduct that had occurred over several years. Legal proceedings and trial. In March, Mello entered a guilty plea to 5 counts of mail fraud and 5 counts of filing false tax returns, marking a critical phase in her legal proceedings. The case was heard by U.S. District Judge Xavier Rodriguez, who oversaw the sentencing. During the proceedings, prosecutors highlighted the severity of Mello's offenses, emphasizing that her actions had breached the trust placed in her role and inflicted considerable damage on military families intended to benefit from the MWR program. Assistant U.S. Attorney Justin Simmons argued for a severe penalty, requesting a sentence exceeding 19 years. He underscored the enormity of Mello's fraudulent activities and the significant repercussions they had on the intended beneficiaries of the program. The prosecution's request was based on the extensive scale of the fraud and its devastating impact on those who relied on the program's resources. Ultimately, the court sentenced Mello to 15 years in federal prison. This sentence reflected the serious nature of her crimes and the considerable harm caused by her embezzlement scheme. The decision aimed to deliver justice by holding her accountable for the substantial breach of trust and the financial damage inflicted on the MWR program and its beneficiaries. Defense and remorse. During the sentencing phase, Mello's defense attorney, Albert Flores, conveyed her profound remorse for her actions. Flores highlighted that Mello was deeply aware of the severity of her crimes and felt significant shame for her misconduct. The defense emphasized that Mello was committed to making amends, including her intention to reimburse the government by selling some of the luxury items she had acquired with the stolen funds. Despite these efforts to demonstrate Mello's remorse and her willingness to rectify the situation, the court decided against altering her sentence. The seriousness of her offenses and the harm caused were deemed too significant to modify the 15-year prison term. Flores also indicated that the defense would not pursue an appeal, accepting the court's decision and the legal consequences of Mello's actions. The focus on Mello's remorse and her proposed restitution did not influence the court's decision to uphold the original sentence. Impact and reactions. Mello's case had a significant impact on the MWR program and the broader community. Her embezzlement undermined the program's mission to support military families, resulting in a loss of trust and highlighting the need for improved oversight. The extensive nature of Mello's fraud emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability in managing public funds. U.S. Attorney Jaime Esparza condemned Mello's actions as a severe breach of trust, noting the harm caused to military children and families. Despite Mello's remorse and the defense's arguments for leniency, the court's decision to impose a 15-year prison sentence reflects the severity of her financial crimes and the need to uphold justice. A co-worker and friend of Mello, Denise Fazan, defended her in a letter to the judge, characterizing Mello as a kind and caring individual. Fazan's letter highlighted the personal conflict between Mello's character and her criminal actions, but the court ultimately prioritized the need for justice and accountability over personal testimonies. Conclusion. The case of Janet Yamanaka Mello serves as a powerful example of the devastating effects of financial misconduct. Her elaborate embezzlement scheme and lavish lifestyle not only betrayed the trust of the Army's MWR program, but also had far-reaching consequences for military families. This case underscores the critical importance of rigorous financial oversight and the need for robust internal controls to prevent and address similar misconduct in the future. The extensive nature of Mello's fraudulent activities emphasizes the necessity of vigilance, accountability, and transparency in managing public funds and ensuring the integrity of programs designed to benefit vulnerable populations. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you all liked it. Feel free to share your thoughts in comment section. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you will never miss any episode of our enthralling series.